You want to keep the log, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
Come. Anything, buddy? No, nothing. Here we go.
BJ, good to see you again, mate.
Hey, Phil. Finally made it to homicide, eh?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah. Nice to see you. Senior Constable Ben Stewart, Detective Sergeant Phil Grant. G'day.
Hey, Phil. And this is Senior Detective Rebecca Jacobs. She likes to be known as Becky.
I like to be known as Rebecca, but everybody calls me Becky.
Nice to meet you. Everybody calls me PJ.
So you got a body for us, mate?
Yes. No head, no limbs, just a body.
Bloke was walking his dog and he found it, and he promptly lost his breakfast.
It's not a pretty sight, Becky.
It never is.
Oh, big yabbies you got here, mate.
Looks like it's been cut up by a saw or something.
Obviously well built.
Dark brown chest hair.
Greying, so it's not a young chap.
Do you reckon he might be a local?
How the hell would I know?
Well, this is a small enough town. You'd know just about everyone,
It's
wouldn't
not that small, Phil.
you? You've been in the sticks too long,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
How long do you reckon it's been in the water?
A couple of days, otherwise it'd be in far worse shape.
Anything else around?
Well, there's some tide tracks over here. Looks like it's been dragged across the grass.
Well, at least it's a start. Maybe the divers can turn up some bits and pieces.
We'll check missing persons.
Yeah, it's a good idea until forensic get back to us.
That should be easy enough to identify. Just got to find an easygoing drunk with mental problems. Armless, legless, and off his head.
Anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, things I could tell you about this guy.
Hey, no
Really?
tails out of school, Phil. No
don't
tails
be
out of school. Hey, no.
You two worked together before?
Yeah, my first station in Fitzroy.
Yeah. He used to hang around like a little puppy dog. We used to call him Rover.
Oh, yeah, you were 6 months ahead of me and keen as mustard. remember?
Boss,
Excuse me, there's a lady here to see you.
come on. Oh, hello, Mrs. Dodds. How are you? Excuse me.
Oh, hello, Sergeant. I do hope I'm not being a nuisance.
Not at all. What can I do for you?
Well, I was around a friend's place and I heard there'd been a murder. But it's most upsetting.
Why don't you come on in and sit down?
How long they had you stuck out here for, mate?
Oh, 8 years.
Geez, what'd you do? Have it off with the super's wife or something?
Well, it was supposed to be a short-term thing, but I decided to stay.
Why?
Why? Why not? It grows on you.
Well, if it grew on me, I'd cut it off. You're a city boy, PJ. What are you doing hanging out with these cow cockies?
Ah, well, sometimes I do miss the city.
Apply for a transfer. Even murderers get time off for good behaviour.
Well, I have thought about it.
Oh, you interested in homicide?
Is there a vacancy?
No, but I mean, you could swing us a comment.
Oh, come on, Phil, it's a comment. What am I going to do that for a couple of weeks?
Look, one of our guys is off sick, and I happen to know for a fact that he's not coming back. I mean, once you're in, it's a damn sight easier getting the gig.
Yeah?
Anyway, have a think about it.
We may have a lead.
Amelia Dodds. She's a widow, lives alone. She heard about this body turning up and she wanted to report that her handyman has gone missing.
The handyman.
Yeah, bloke called Derek Knowles.
He was supposed to come yesterday and tune a video.
He didn't show and is not answering his mobile.
Have we got a description?
Well, I know him vaguely. He's late 50s, about 5'8", grey hair.
Sounds like a match.
Well, we're only guessing until we get the forensic report back.
Well, I don't mind following this one up, Phil.
Well, at least it's a start. Thanks, PJ.
I'll get Noel's address for you.
I'll work with PJ, shall I?
Yeah, why not?
You obviously don't like being a desk jockey.
Who does, huh?
Are you married?
No.
Involved?
No.
Can I help you?
Mrs. Knowles?
That's right.
Senior Detective Hasham and Jacobs. Is your husband home?
No, he's not. Why?
When do you expect him?
Wednesday, I think. What's this all about?
No, we're just making inquiries. My understanding he hasn't been seen for a couple of days.
Has this got something to do with the body that was found?
It's just routine.
Well, it's not Derek. He's gone away in a bowling tournament with a local team.
Where to?
Vanilla, I think he said. I'm afraid I'm not the slightest interested in bowls.
Has he phoned you?
No, I don't expect him to.
According to the bowling club, there's no tournament on, and Derek Knowles has not been seen for a week.
Well, he could have spun his wife a yarn and gone off somewhere. Wouldn't be the first time a bloke's done that, eh?
True, but it's a bit of a coincidence that he should disappear just when a body turns up.
Yeah, it is not. Any joy from missing persons?
The only one matching the age and build was covered in tattoos.
So unless they're washed off in the lake, Derek Knowles is still our best lead.
Receive VKC. Mount Thomas 900 to Mount Thomas 308. Go ahead, Joe.
We've found Derek Knowles' ute parked in Henderson Street.
Any sign of Mr. Knowles?
No. The cabin's locked, but he's left his mobile phone on the seat, and he must have his whole toolkit here.
The woman in there said she sort of parked here all day yesterday.
He wouldn't leave all his tools out overnight. They're his livelihood.
He could have just had a job in the area.
He told his wife he was going bowling. Why would he head off to a job?
Have you checked the other neighbours?
Onto it, yeah?
Thanks, Joe, Jack.
No problem.
Right, I'm off to Wombies.
Hey, mate. You got me worried here. What the hell's a wombi?
Wombat Creek Caravan Park. It's near where the body was found.
So, anything?
Well, a woman down at Wombies heard a car about 2:30 in the morning, but she didn't bother to look out, did she?
It's a bit different to your average burg.
Oh, yeah.
So, are you enjoying working with the Hombies?
Yeah.
Enough to consider a transfer if the chance came up?
You know how difficult it is, boss. I mean, every man and his dog wants it.
Yeah, I'm sure your mate would be able to help you, though.
They're trying to get rid of me.
Last thing on my mind, we'd miss you too much.
Thanks.
Hey, Joe, we've got a witness. He's in the interview room. An old friend of yours.
Shane Franklin.
How are you, Detective Hush?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. Better than you by the looks of what happened.
Tried riding a horse. Stuck at home. Can't get back to school till next week.
And you complaining?
No, not now. I've been doing what you told me.
Yeah?
Keep my eyes open and my mouth shut.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Shane's helped us out before. He wants to become a detective.
Yeah, so he's told us. He's got some information about Mr. Knowles.
Yeah, I see him a lot. He comes around and visits my next-door neighbour. I think that might be,
Now, when did you see him last?
about 2 days ago. He came at about 7:32 p.m. And then at 9:43 p.m. this fight started. Yelling and screaming and that.
Did you hear anything?
No, not from her, but he was going ballistic.
Well, then what?
And then there was this noise. Like a chainsaw.
Chainsaw?
Yeah.
That time of night?
Yeah, I thought it was weird. Who'd be cutting trees down at that time
You
of
wouldn't
day?
think so, would you?
Oh, yeah, well, this went on for about 4 minutes, right? And then everything went quiet again. I kept my eyes open, but I couldn't see or hear anything else.
How can you be so sure of the exact time?
I keep notes. Mark of good detectives. Accurate records.
Are you saying you spend all your spare time spying on your neighbours?
Surveillance.
Whatever happened to computer games?
I wanted to watch that show, Street Beat. Unreal show, that, but Mum wanted to watch some other show. So I went to my room.
Did your mother hear the chainsaw?
Yeah, but she reckoned it was a vacuum cleaner. As if you can't tell the difference.
So you actually didn't see anyone moving around the house?
Oh, no, not till the next morning. Mrs. Ryan came out carrying these big suitcases. She put them in her car and she drove off. Haven't seen her since. It's not hard to guess what's in the suitcases, eh?
No guessing, Shane, eh? What do we need?
Yeah, evidence, yeah.
Evidence.
The Mount Thomas Chainsaw Massacre. The guy's been watching too many movies.
No. Shane is a good kid. If he thought he heard a chainsaw, I'm inclined to believe him.
I checked at Mari Ryan's house. There was no one home and a couple of days' mail and newspapers in the letterbox.
Mari Ryan?
Yeah, Shane's neighbour in Henderson Street.
Near where we found the ute.
Evidently, Derek Knowles used to call on her quite often.
Well, it's hardly surprising. She's family.
Mrs. Knowles, do you have any idea where your sister is?
She's not at home?
We think she may have gone away for a couple of days.
I don't know. She didn't say anything to me.
Your husband's ute was parked around the corner from her house. Why would he have done that?
I don't know.
Is this your husband?
Yes, it was taken 4 or 5 years ago.
Would he have a diary?
A work diary, yes.
May we see it? It would give us a clue to his whereabouts.
This is my husband's study. It should be in here somewhere.
We'll have a quick look round if that's all right with you, Mrs. Knowles.
Enjoys a crime thriller, does he?
Yes. I don't know what he sees in them.
You use this room as the guest room?
My husband sleeps here sometimes. I have trouble sleeping. He snores.
Sleeping tablets.
They're mine, actually. My husband's snoring is so loud, he wakes himself up.
Is this the work diary?
Yes.
What have we got here? Dodds, which something. No mention of a bowling tournament. There's plenty of future appointments, though.
Yes, is it? Does your husband visit your sister often, Mrs. Knowles?
Oh, Occasionally, why?
He's marked down a lot of M's in here. Could M stand for Murray?
It's a possibility. I couldn't really say.
I'd say it's very likely. Do you recognise this letter, Mrs. Knowles?
What is it?
Is that your husband's handwriting?
Yes.
Well, according to this, your husband had an affair with your sister. And she wouldn't let go when he wanted to break it off. She started stalking him.
No.
We do need to keep that for evidence.
Well, it's addressed to me.
And it says to hand it on to us. He was obviously worried something might happen to him.
Bloody scribble. I mean, it was Mrs. Dodds, but we already knew about her. Another one that appears a few times is this W.I. something or other, M Park.
That could be Wilma and Max Park over on Baronia Street.
Right, Murray phoned the boss yesterday, said she needed a couple of days off. Family problem, she said.
Fair enough assessment, I suppose, if she's been hopping into bed with a brother-in-law.
They'll be back till next week.
Oh, we can't wait that long. Tess, all right if Constable Parrish gives us a hand?
Certainly.
OK, PJ and Parrish organise a search warrant for Murray Ryan's place, and Becky and I can try and track her down.
Might be better if I work with PJ, don't you think?
Pretty religious by the look of it, eh?
Not exactly house proud. Cleanliness is not next to godliness in this house.
You should see my place.
Is that an invitation?
Wow. You know what bachelor pads are like?
Should I?
I thought women were supposed to be tidier than men.
That is a sexist remark.
Hey, Becky. Recognise this?
The man himself.
The sister's been cut out of the picture. Hidden in a drawer.
Just in case a sister comes to visit.
Valentine's card. Obviously, he was more careful than she was, signed with a love heart.
Notice anything?
Yeah, it's very clean, doesn't it?
Exactly. The rest of the house is a pigsty.
Oh, maybe she's got a thing about cleanliness, you know, with food preparation.
No, she wouldn't leave a half-empty mug and all those crumbs there.
Yeah. Becky, she's got a receipt from the hardware store for a chainsaw. Forensic are checking the place out.
Well, if she's done a runner, she could be anywhere by now.
Hey, I spoke to the guy at the hardware shop. He confirmed they sold the chainsaw to a woman matching Mari's description.
Bingo.
But it wasn't at the place, Phil. Any sign of this chainsaw in the ute?
No, everything else but.
Oh, she did. Probably at the bottom of the creek by now.
But it's a
Now,
pretty
Thomas, please, Senior
extreme way
Detective
of getting
Hasham
back
speaking.
at a guy for dumping you, isn't it?
Have we found anything else?
How are you?
No, not yet.
Right. Yeah, we'll be out soon. Forensic have got something for us.
Someone went to a lot of trouble. It's been scrubbed from top to bottom. But you can never get rid of every trace of blood. It's here, here, and up on the ceiling. Even arterial blood wouldn't spurt that high. For the spots to get up there, it must have been thrown.
By a chainsaw?
That'd do it, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, you're going to cut up a body with a chainsaw. There should be blood everywhere.
Or maybe she put some plastic sheeting down.
It's possible.
Yeah, it makes sense. You chop it up into smaller pieces, wrap it up into plastic, put it straight into the suitcase.
There's been some spilled here and wiped clean. But we got a trace of dried blood out of that, enough to establish blood type.
Excellent.
Excuse me?
What's going on? What are you doing in my house? He was leaving her.
And you were supposed to meet him in a hotel in Melbourne.
Then we're going to start our new life together.
You checked in yesterday and he didn't show?
Yes. I thought that she'd managed to stop him.
And you waited all night?
Yes. But he is leaving her. He promised.
Where were you the night before last?
At home. Derek came round with a bottle of champagne to celebrate our new life together.
Then you had an argument?
No.
Well, neighbours did hear yelling coming from your place, Mary.
Not from my house.
There was also noise like a chainsaw.
What did you do that evening?
We went to bed early. The champagne must have gone straight to my head, and I don't remember drinking that much. I fell asleep.
Well, what time was this?
About 9 o'clock. I had an awful headache when I woke up next morning. Derek had gone.
Didn't you wonder where he'd gone?
He never stays all night. I tried to save my sister from the gossip.
No, we've got a chainsaw receipt, which was found at your house.
It's Derek's. He asked me to collect it for him.
A chainsaw?
Yeah.
Well, why would he not collect it himself?
He was busy. He said he needed it first thing next day.
It's funny how your alibi keeps coming back to Derek and he's not around to back up your story.
Why would I need an alibi?
You know what I think, Mrs. Ryan? Derek wasn't going to run away with you. He'd already dumped you, and you refused to let go.
That's not true.
So you kept hounding him, nagging at him to get back together. And when he refused, you decided, well, if I couldn't have him, then no one else was going to.
No, we loved each other. He didn't love her.
So then you killed him. Chopped him up so he was easy to move and then dumped it in the creek.
No, that's not true. It's not true.
You're a bit rough on her, mate.
We're getting nowhere pussyfooting around.
So you think she's our villain?
Of course she is. We've got two sets of neighbours who heard the commotion and she denies it ever happened.
I don't know. I mean, if she's guilty, why would she go back to the house 36 hours later?
Mate, our job's to catch them, not get inside their heads.
What do you reckon?
Derek's letter said he was trying to break it off.
That's right, she's dreaming.
So what do you want to do? You want to charge her?
Well, not on what we've got so far. Tomorrow we widen the search. I guarantee we'll get some hard evidence on her.
Look, I agree. She's obsessive. I just don't think she's lying.
What do you do for fun in this town? Do they do margaritas?
Chris does the best margaritas.
Hi.
Hi.
How's the room?
Yes, fine, thanks.
2 beers, thanks, Chrissy, and a margarita.
A margarita. Listen, there's a rumour going around that body you guys found is Derek Knowles.
Oh, yeah. You know him?
Oh, he comes in here occasionally. He's got a bit of a reputation.
All right, do tell.
The word is that he's usually got 2 or 3 women on the side. One of them at the moment is his sister-in-law. But I don't know about that.
Why is that?
Because Marie's really close to her and I just don't know that she'd do it to her. Then stranger things have happened, eh?
Are these other women? You don't happen to know their names?
Rose Foreman's a customer, as is Penny Maxwell.
Penny Maxwell up from the plumbing supply joint.
I can't say I'm surprised. Word is the only reason she took that job was because it was a good place to meet blokes.
Well, that broadens the inquiry a little bit.
We'll check it out tomorrow.
Gives Murray even more motive. She not only finds out he's not going to leave his wife, but that's just part of a whole.
Gives lots of money for all the other women too, I guess.
Can we stop talking shop and go and eat?
It was delicious. Might have another. Join me?
Yeah, thanks. We'll catch up. Sure.
You ever think about going back to the Big Smoke?
If the job was right, yeah.
Like homicide?
Phil did mention that one of your guys is off sick.
Don't tell me. He suggested you apply for secondment. Yeah. Makes sense. He'd want to get one of his mates in.
Oh, we're not exactly bosom buddies, though.
I'm not putting you down, PJ, but it sounds more like manoeuvring than mateship.
What?
No, nothing. Forget it. I'm just getting tired of watching my back. Anyway, know any good places to go clubbing?
Oh, we could nearly start tomorrow, though.
You're right. We should get to bed early.
Tell you what, how about I take you out to dinner tomorrow night? Hey?
A date?
Yeah.
What a sweet, old-fashioned idea.
Hey, any joy?
Penny Maxwell reckons she hasn't seen Derek for the last 3 months. She's been having some casual on and off affair for a couple of years, but she wasn't at all bothered when he dumped her.
Well, where was she when he disappeared?
Party in St David's. 24 witnesses at least, she reckons. Joe's looking for Rose Foreman.
G'day, how are you? Good. Morning.
Nothing.
Rose was horrified that there was gossip going around. She said it was just a fling 6 months ago, and she's terrified her husband will find out.
Terrified enough to do something about it?
I don't think so. She was at home on Wednesday night. Her daughter and son-in-law are staying.
So, we're back to Mari.
No, I don't think it's Mari. It's just all too neat.
It fits, PJ. Chris Riley said the sisters were very close. Mari's a practising Catholic. Having an affair with her sister's husband could have made her feel so guilty. Could have pushed her over the edge.
Works for me. Come on, let's go and have a closer look around her house.
She's dead, isn't he? Derek's dead. He would have contacted me by now if he wasn't.
We were hoping you could tell us that, Mrs. Ryan. We'd like to have another look round, if you don't mind.
We're going to have another look through your car. Do you have the keys?
You two check the car, eh?
Welcome to Gruntland.
Hey?
He treats all uniforms like grunts.
Don't take it personally, Joe.
Well, it's hard not to when it's directed at you.
He's not intending to be offensive.
But intended or not, it is offensive. Hey, isn't this a different car?
I thought I'd better explain. I cracked a windscreen on the way back from Melbourne.
So the car that was searched yesterday?
It was on loan.
So this is your real car then, the one that was here the night Mr. Knowles disappeared?
Yes.
Junkyard. Joe.
Bloodstains.
I don't know how they got there.
You probably dropped them in there when you were getting rid of the body.
No.
You were meant to get rid of them when you dumped it, but you forgot.
I wouldn't hurt Derek. I loved him. I loved him. She's trying to blame me.
Who?
It's my fault. I should never have let it go on for so long.
You think someone's trying to set you up, Murray?
I betrayed her. It's my punishment.
You're talking about your sister?
She wasn't going to let him walk out on her. But I didn't think she'd go this far.
Mrs. Ryan, your sister didn't even know about you and Derek until we discovered the letter.
She did? Derek told her a month ago.
Yeah, of course she was panicking and pointing the finger.
Like I said before, Phil, it's all too neat. Like we find a receipt for a chainsaw, rubber gloves with blood smeared all over it. I mean, like it was planted.
Mate, we've got everything we need. Motive, opportunity, and this. The blood found in the kitchen matches Derek's blood group. As far as I'm concerned, the case is closed. I'm taking it back to
I still think there's something about this that's on the nose. We need to talk to Renee.
It's a waste of time. What do you think she's going to say? She's going to deny it, of course. And she was at the CWA meeting that night. What do you think, they're all lying to give her an alibi? Look, let go of the bone, Rover. We can't drag investigations on unnecessarily.
I don't think it's unnecessary, Phil.
Yeah, well, I got 3 stripes that say it is. You know, I thought you and I could work well together.
You mean he told you not to make waves, or he wouldn't put in a good word for you at the hommies?
Yeah, well, not in so many words, but I got the message.
I knew there was a reason I didn't like the guy.
Apart from him treating you like a grunt.
You wouldn't seriously want to work with someone like that, would you?
Joe, it's not about Phil, it's about my career. He and I are the same age, right? He's got the stripes. Because I fast track, I'm treading water.
Cheers, PJ. I'll give you a ring.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Looks like we'll have to rain check our dinner. Pity. I was looking forward to it.
Me too.
Oh, well. I guess we'll bump into each other again someday.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get transferred to the city.
I hope so.
That it then? Case over, huh?
Yeah. Depends on how much I want that secondment.
Well, if you want it, you better, pull your head in and do nothing.
Haven't been too good at doing that before, have I?
Anything I can do?
Yeah. Bring Renee Knowles in.
Done.
Mrs. Knowles, were you aware your husband was having affairs with other women?
We had a perfectly happy marriage.
Is that why he was sleeping in the study?
I don't expect you to understand, but we had a good relationship.
Until you found out your sister was involved.
I didn't know about that.
Well, Derek told you a month ago, though, didn't he?
Well, perhaps that's what he told her.
I think he confessed to you. He broke up with Mari, then she started stalking him.
My sister lives in a dream world, always has.
Why is that?
She was devastated when her husband left her. Told the family he was away on business, refused to believe it, till it was obvious he wasn't coming back.
And when was this?
17 years ago. Look, Mari lives on fantasy, Mr. Hasham. I don't think she's capable of murder.
Well, people go to extremes when they push, Mrs. Knowles. Are you aware that your sister was stalking your husband?
She used to call and ask him to come round and fix things for her. She's never been a practical person, couldn't even change a light bulb. I did get odd phone calls. Nobody there. I thought they were just wrong numbers.
I don't think you thought they were wrong numbers. I think you knew exactly what was going on.
And if I had known what was going on, you think the first thing to have entered my mind was to kill my husband?
Well, that was useful.
Yeah, trying to prove Mari's innocence, and Renee's just dropped her feather in it.
Telling us how irrational Mari can be and confirming the stalking.
If only Renee didn't have such a solid alibi. She's certainly got as much motive as Mari.
You know, there's something iffy about when Renee actually found out about this affair.
What if she did know about it earlier? What would that prove?
Well, that she's capable of lying. I mean, did you buy this story about them having a perfect marriage?
Not exactly what I'd call wedded bliss. But then again, what would I know?
So if the sisters are as close as we're led to believe, it would have been a real kick in the guts to find out about this affair, wouldn't it?
So,
if Renee found out about this affair a month ago, well, they would have stopped speaking to each other, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. She used to come around here all the time.
Used to? Well, she hasn't come around lately?
No, not for about a month. No.
What about Derek Knowles? How often does he come around?
Now that you mention it, yeah, only a couple of times. Before that, it was once or twice a week.
Thanks, buddy. It's a great help. Appreciate that.
Say, Pete.
Thanks for that.
Hello. So Renee is capable of telling a lie, but she's still got that bloody alibi.
Hey, I was thinking about Derek's ute.
What about it?
Well, on that night, it was parked in the driveway. He always parks it there when he comes, but in the morning, it had been moved up the street. Someone must have moved it during the night.
Hey, PJ, a crime scene just called. The tyre marks found near the body match the tyres on Derek Knowles' ute.
Right, thanks.
Well, hang on. That could explain why the car was moved during the night. Mari must have used that car to dump the body. It wasn't in the suitcases at all. Then when she got back, she parked in the street because she knew she'd have to get her car out later.
No, well, I've already checked the prints on the ute. They're not Mari's.
Well, whose prints were they?
Well, Derek's, I suppose. Same one on the tools. Joe, what do you think of Renee Knowles?
Strong-willed woman, bit of a control freak, maybe. Why?
Well, she thought she had a workable marriage, like a really good marriage. I wonder what the husband thought.
Well, it wouldn't make Tom getting all round town if he agreed, would he?
Exactly. He's having an affair with a sister-in-law. She's obsessed. She won't let go. Right? Now, he's copied it from both sides, getting it from the wife and the mistress.
I'm surprised he didn't just shoot through.
Me too. Hey, we've always assumed that the body was cut up to make it easy to move. What if it was chopped up to prevent identification?
So, what are we looking for exactly?
Have you ever used a chainsaw, Joe?
Once I cut up some wood at my uncle's farm.
Right, and did you find it difficult?
Oh, got there eventually. Why?
I'm just wondering how a woman like Mari, who couldn't even change a light bulb, right, could hack up a large man with a chainsaw and not even leave a nick on the floor or the table.
So if Mari didn't chop up Derek, we've got to follow up this possibility that the body's not Derek at all.
And he's staged his own death in order to shoot through, right?
Exactly. Now, I'm going to call up the autopsy. I mean, they've got to have some results for us by now.
So in order to do that, he finds someone his own age and builds a hack to pieces.
Right.
Pretty gruesome.
Oh, yeah, but where's he going to find a body?
Remember there was that diary entry we couldn't read properly? W.I. something rather M Park?
Yeah.
Well, the boss said that'd be Wilma and Max Park, but when I spoke to Max, he said he'd never employ such a creep.
Well, you can't blame a bloke for protecting his missus, can you? But, so what other parks are in town?
That's the thing, I mean, none I can think of with the initials M and W.
So who? Who?
What if it's not a who, but a where? Yes, get this. Max Park thought Derek was a creep, not because he was a sleazebag, but because he was a gravedigger. See that? That's not Wilma and Max Park, that's Widge M Park. An abbreviation of Widgery Memorial Park, the cemetery. That's where Derek worked as a casual employee. Each of these diary entries are funerals.
So when was the last funeral?
The day Derek Knowles disappeared. A guy named Charlie Adamson.
Adamson, yeah, I remember that name. Didn't we break into his house, mate?
Well, yeah. He died of a heart attack.
All right, good work, Joe. Look, get on to Mel, see what you can find out about Charlie.
Charlie Adamson? Yeah, I remember him. He was a bit older, early 60s, I think. But, yeah, about the same height and build as Derek.
Well, it started to fit together. I mean, why, after weeks of trying to dump Mari, would he turn up on a doorstep with a bottle of French champagne and plans to go away together?
Because he needed her story to sound implausible. And he knew she was so besotted that she'd fall for it.
Exactly. So he spiked a drink, and when she was unconscious, he planned the whole thing. The argument, the chainsaw. He flicked a bit of his own blood around.
Didn't read all those crime novels for nothing, did he?
PJ, spoke to Dr. Mel. She removed a skin cancer from Charlie Adamson's back about a year ago. The morgue confirmed there's a scar on the body.
So provided Derek doesn't have the same scar.
He doesn't. Checked.
She's on the ball, this girl, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
All right, better organise an exhumation order, but first, phone call.
You're going to enjoy this, aren't you?
Phil. Mate. Yeah, look, there's been a few developments.
Hello there.
Oh, g'day. G'day, mate. Like to do the honours? You couldn't let go of it, could you, Rover? Come on, let's get it over with.
I don't come much fresher than that.
Well, we've got all the missing bits and pieces here. We've got chainsaw, champagne, French.
Champagne glass looks like it's left over from the wake.
Oh, yeah, there'll be traces of sleeping tablets in there. He used them to knock Mari out for a couple of hours. Yeah.
I had a feeling you weren't going to let go of this.
Just doing my job.
Was it worth it?
I think it was. Well, Mari Ryan's on her way home. Well done, mate.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
I didn't think you'd be pleased. Why? You solved the case?
Not exactly solved. It was made of the missing person instead of a homicide.
Well, the press have got hold of it. We can expect a fair amount of media attention.
Reporters, camera crew, it's all we need.
Oh, it's not surprising. It makes for a good story.
Phil, do us a favour, eh? Try and keep them off our backs.
Well, I could hold a press conference back in Melbourne, but it'd mean I have to leave you guys here.
Oh, we could handle it.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
You handled that like a pro. You'll fit right in if you ever come to work at the squad.
Oh, thanks.
So, what do you want me to do now?
Well, we've got plenty of legwork and plenty of paperwork.
And you're no desk jockey.
Becky, no disrespect, but look, the uniforms here, like, they've done a lot. They've worked really hard, and I'd like to follow through with them. Is that okay?
Well, how about I start putting the report together then?
That'd be great.
Are we still on for tonight?
Yeah.
Can I get you anything?
It's such a relief to know he's alive, even if he has done this awful thing. It's not something a normal person would do, is it?
No, it's not. Are you suggesting that he may have had a breakdown?
It's hard to believe he wanted to leave so badly.
Do you have any idea where he might have gone?
He needs help, Mr. Hesham. You'll help him, won't you? You'll find him for me.
We'll find him, Mrs. Knowles. Let's work it through, all right? He drugs Mari, stages the argument, then he heads off to the cemetery. He chops Charlie up, he buries the body parts, the chainsaw, the empty champagne bottle. Then he covers in the grave.
Then he drives to the creek, he dumps the torso, and returns to Mari's. Why didn't he just dump the ute in the bush or something?
Well, maybe he needed the link to Mari. I mean, he obviously had other transport.
Why not check with second-hand car yard dealers, see if they've sold the
Hang
car?
on, hang on. We may have a shortcut.
Cars, yeah. I got cars coming and going. Where they stopped, who got out. Red Pulsar, TLD 370.
You sure?
Can't miss. Parked outside Mrs. Reese's driveway.
Shane, this pans out, mate. You're on a fast track to becoming a D.
It's registered to a rental car company in St David's.
Derek's gone to an awful lot of trouble over this little exercise. Is there life insurance involved?
Oh, if there was, he won't be collecting him.
He must have really hated Mari. She could have gone to jail for life over this.
No, I think he just wanted to put her through hell for a couple of days. I mean, he knew we'd eventually identify the body.
By that time, he was long gone.
The guy who hired the car matches Derek's description, but the licence was under the name of Stuart Dodds.
Amelia, is there anyone in your family called Stuart Dodds?
No, not now. Why do you want to know?
The name's turned up in our inquiries, and since you're one of Mr. Knowles' customers...
Stuart was my son. Oh, such a sweet little boy. He died when he was 5. These days, they could make him better with just an injection. But back then...
When was this, Mrs. Dodds?
1952. He would be 53 this year. Time goes so fast. Every year I take this tin down and look through it. On his birthday. Seemed to make it much easier somehow. That's funny, it doesn't seem to be here.
What is it?
His birth certificate. I know it was here.
She thought of Derek as a kind of surrogate son. It was so hard telling her she'd been duped.
It might be really hard to track him down, you know.
With the birth certificate, could have got a passport and be overseas anywhere by now.
No, we checked the airlines, nothing.
What's happened to PJ?
Oh, he's busy.
He's entertaining the homicide detective.
Good looking one.
I'm glad you clarified that.
That was a truly delicious meal.
Just a little bit of local hospitality.
Is that what you call it? Come on, then. Come on. Come on.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh. Don't talk.
I just haven't done this for a while.
Oh, if that is Phil, I'll murder him. Hello. Oh, hi, John. What's up? No. Just got back to the hotel. Dinner with one of the local Ds. No, boring as batshit. He should have retired 10 years ago. Look, can I call you tomorrow? I'm exhausted. I just need to get to bed. Yeah. What? The camera? It's in the wardrobe. My side, second shelf down. Yeah, me too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Bye. Whew. Talk about perfect timing. What are you doing?
Becky, I'm sorry, I can't.
Hey, come on. It's just a bit of fun. It's cool.
I had a really good evening. I really did. I just don't. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry to put you both through this, but we really do need to find out where Derek may have gone.
I don't think there's anything more I can tell you, Mr. Hashem.
He's obviously been planning this for a while. Where would he have got the money from?
I went through our bank statements, and our income is down over the last 2 years, but Derek seems to have been working just as hard as ever.
He's been keeping the cash separate. Our elopement fund, he called it. I'm sorry, Renee. I didn't mean it to happen. It just did.
So where would he have gone?
Tasmania.
No. You'll probably find him beachcombing somewhere in far north Queensland.
In a cabin in the mountains.
Oh, rubbish. Derek hated the cold. He always dreamed of retiring to the tropics.
He never talked about that.
Maybe not to you. You were lovers. We were friends.
Well, I reckon the far north, he'd want to get away as far as possible. Yeah, maybe. We notified Queensland
PJ,
Police.
we found him. Another hour and the Queensland Police would have phoned us. They had a death message to deliver. Derek Knowles was in a car accident outside Proserpine just after midnight. He was carrying another driver's licence in the name of Dodds.
Right. Okay, thanks for that. Fell asleep at the wheel, peered straight into the path of a semi.
3,000 k's in 3 days. It's a fair distance. And we went to all that effort to pretend he was dead.
Morning, guys. All ready to track Mr. Knowles down?
No need to, Phil.
It's all over. And where were you during all this?
Someone had to do the paperwork.
So you solved it by yourself then?
No, I had quite a bit of help.
Do you know, it'd be nice if we got the credit for it rather than the uniforms.
Oh, credit where credit's due, don't you think, Phil?
We better get back then. You right, Senior?
Hey, Phil? About that secondment.
Yeah, I'll give you a ring.
No, it's okay, mate. I've decided not to apply.
Suit yourself.
Becky?
It's Rebecca.